Even though there's people that compete with each other during the day, we certainly have a good time at night, as you can see at the media bar. We are a really great group of folks that I think keep coming back because it's the spirit of camaraderie that we feel here at this show. And you see that in the exhibit hall too, which is opening later today. We are especially grateful for our sponsors, whose names you see on the screen here. We're very grateful to the exhibitors for being here. You'll see some incredible companies in the exhibit hall and some technologies. And you'll see the real leaders of an industry that's coming together for the country's future. There's no other event like this. This is where you get the top leaders of the wireless infrastructure industry together, find out what they're thinking about in the future. It's really a chance to see the people that came up with these networks, the people that are buying the equipment, the people that are building the equipment, the latest wireless networking technologies. You're in the center of the wireless universe right here, right now. This is really the place to be, both in terms of being in Texas and Dallas. It's fitting that we're here. This area's become a hotbed of mobile technology. More recently, 5G testing and development. The AT&T here and Ericsson and Intel are testing 5G right here in Texas. Verizon and Samsung are testing nearby. So the future of wireless communications is unfolding right around this hotel. And since the very beginning, the wireless infrastructure show has been focused on the future of wireless. People come here to see ahead, and we've always focused on the future of PCIA as well. And in recent years, we've really grown this association. I think you see it here at the show, you feel it in the halls. We've had a huge impact on the regulatory front. As you know, we're out there advocating for you every day in front of Congress and the FCC and the administration. And we've built this show into a centerpiece for the industry that it is today. We've created an independent developers forum that's the gathering spot for the builders of towers. We've established an Innovation and Technology Council that's a new focus of thought leadership in the industry, and we appreciate the work there. And we have big plans ahead. As a matter of fact, with that future in mind, I've got some big news to announce this morning. We are, as of right now, this very second, we're changing our name to the Wireless Infrastructure Association. We appreciate those of you who made it out for this. We consider it an historic announcement that you were here for the moment, that you're no longer at the PCIA show. You're now at the WIA show, and you didn't even have to go anywhere. This is a big change for the association. It's you made it here not only to get breakfast, but to witness this. I want to make sure that if you look at that logo, we did that logo in-house, and we're really proud of it. If you look closely at it, some people might see that right away. Do you happen to see the letters in there? You got the W and the I and the A right inside of that logo. And I think this name really better captures the focus of what we're doing. We're really focused on the mission of representing the companies and the people who create, manage, and design wireless infrastructure. So the board of directors under leadership of Tam Murray felt this was the time to change it. We'd outgrown the name PCIA. If you look back at history, PCIA, the Personal Communications Industry Association, was created back in 1995. Those of you who remember, it was part of the PCS competitive spectrum that was being put out, and later we really were focused on the paging industry as well. And we now, many years later, by 10 years later, after a dramatic shift in the industry, the association retooled its focus on infrastructure. But we kept the legacy PCIA name. So today we're retiring that moniker. But we're not retiring, just the opposite. We're being reborn as WIA. Our mission now goes well beyond personal communications. We're the voice of the wireless infrastructure industry. We are the Wireless Infrastructure Association. Not only do we have a new name, we have this logo. We have, just a few seconds ago, we launched our new website, WIA.org. Hope you get a chance to check that out. The new site hosts a lot of information. It's got white papers that were just produced by our Innovation and Technology Council, led by Jake McLeod. We've got videos and latest news from Washington and from around the country. And we are about to launch a wireless infrastructure blog with experts and insights from our staff and from experts around the country. So we really think this new website will be something that you'll get a lot of benefit from. Check it out, let us know what you think. Let us know how you think we can improve it. We really do want your input on that, and we want to know what you think of the new name. Let me know in the halls, let me know what you think of the logo. We appreciate you supporting PCIA all these years and look forward to working with you as WIA, because really you're the ones who fuel our mission. You're the ones who get us out of bed every day, and our mission is to make sure that your businesses can succeed. And understanding the path ahead is really key to that success. That's why this year's show is so focused on the future. We again have record-breaking participation here, both as our show and our exhibit hall you're going to see is just packed with all kinds of great technology. This year's event's also groundbreaking. We have a fantastic lineup of keynote speeches and panelists and some visionary leaders from throughout the industry and beyond will be in these halls. We'll hear from Diane Trineski shortly, the Chief Digital Officer of HBO, to find out how wireless infrastructure is needed to deliver their award-winning programming. We'll hear from Susan Johnson at AT&T and Dave Mayo from T-Mobile to learn more about what the carriers are seeing ahead. And Rod Smith from IBM will be here later to share his thoughts on emerging mobile technologies. And on Wednesday, we're launching our first ever Supplier Diversity Summit. It's a full day of programming designed around promoting diversity in our industry. We have Jose Mas from Mostech, who's going to kick off the summit. He might have seen him on Undercover Boss, but they did a pretty good job of disguising him. Wireless infrastructure is the foundation for all mobile communications, from connecting people on social media to watching your favorite TV show, so much more. But there's no shortage of topics to cover as a result. And we have to work hard and smart to make sure that wireless infrastructure keeps up with the ever-growing demand for data capacity on wireless networks. A lot of you have heard the stats. Mobile traffic in the US is expected to grow sixfold by 2020, and that's a real challenge for us to try to meet that demand. WIA, still getting used to saying that, it's only been a few minutes. We're working hard as WIA in Washington to make sure that regulators, people that make the laws, understand our needs so that our business practices aren't slowed down, so we can deploy wireless networks in a cost-efficient way. And as a former regulator, I know regulators can cause a lot of trouble. I used to cause a little myself. But with a proper education, and government can really be a help as well. We found that in Washington. We found that policymakers are getting behind our message. They're getting behind the need for wireless broadband. And we are getting, of course, pushback all the time. We always have in this industry. That's why we've always needed WIA. But we're finding that we need to work with localities in a positive way and respect and work with them to address their concerns and only push back when they really go beyond reason. It's worked for our industry so far. We've built out world-class, world-leading 4G networks, and we're prepared to be the leaders in 5G. And so we're fighting to make sure that we can be that leader if we need to do what we need to do in Washington to get obstacles out of the way. I testified twice last year on Capitol Hill and before the committees in the House and Senate. And I urge Congress to try to streamline and accelerate the deployment of wireless broadband. And they understand how important this is for businesses. They understand how important this is for the economy. The chairman of the Senate Commerce Committee really got it. He pulled out his cell phone and he held it up and he said, without wireless infrastructure, this is just an expensive paperweight. So policymakers are getting it. They use these devices themselves, their families use them, they know how much people rely on them, and they know it takes a network to make it work. So there's a lot of discussion at the FCC about the role infrastructure plays in meeting wireless data demand and how important it is to our country's future. And 5G deployment is extremely important to the FCC. We're going to be talking here at the show about the Commission's looking at spectrum above 24 gigahertz, the spectrum frontiers, and we'll talk about how that's going to fit in with the latest deployments of wireless infrastructure. FirstNet's gaining momentum. We were talking about that yesterday. Bids are beginning to be submitted. It took longer than it should have, but we're hopeful it looks like a real network will emerge, not only will that be great for our industry, but most importantly, it'll be great for first responders who deserve a nationwide interoperable broadband public safety network. We're working with the FCC and Native Nations on the historic preservation front. We've heard from a lot of you about issues you're confronting on that. And I think that we can make sure that wireless infrastructure gets deployed while respecting their cultural heritage. We need to work very delicately in this area, but we have to work vigorously to make sure that your needs are met. We're encouraged by the work that Congress is doing on federal lands, and the White House, in fact, has sought out information on how to streamline environmental and historic preservation compliance processes and increase access to federal lands. We're dealing with the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, to make sure that the use of drones can benefit our industry. Congress and the FCC need to provide our industry with certainty. We work to make sure that our costs are minimized and that the rollout isn't slowed down. We want to make sure that they understand that with rules of the road that are set and are clear, investment will follow. Without sound regulations at state, local, and the federal levels, that investment will suffer. So we're working closely to get those networks built that you're trying to get built. Another major challenge that we're tackling is the need for a skilled workforce. I think that we need to make sure we have the right workforce to upgrade and maintain these vast networks that you all own and build. We're facing a very real skills gap from what we hear in the industry. It's a gap that the association is working to address. We're going to publish a white paper putting out today that was written by some members of the association's Innovation and Technology Council. That white paper was written with the guidance of Rick and Thacker of RF Academics at University of Maryland, and Don Bach of SAC Wireless, and Nate Fuentes at CommScope, and Lakshmi Thiagarajan at Solid, and Steve Tom of Tesco. And in their white paper, they detail what's at stake and how the industry can work to attack this skills gap and make sure that we have the workforce that we need. You can pick up a copy of their research at our booth. We've unveiled a booth and back. As you walk out of here, you'll see our logo out there and be able to answer any questions about the new WIA. We're also working with a consortium of industry leaders to promote apprenticeships in our industry, led by Scott Kisting, who started a group called TIRAP, that making sure that we have a program that enables you to access all of these federal funds that are available through apprenticeships, improve your internal training programs, something you can really rely on, and we're trying to make it easy for you to get access to training funds that come for hiring veterans, for hiring people through the apprenticeship program, and we'll be developing career pathways so our workforce can grow as our industry grows. Through TIRAP, we're going to make world-class training available. You can decide what it is that's helpful to you. We'll work with you to try to design things that are the most helpful so that your workforce can reach its full potential and you can leverage the power of the group together, thinking about how we can best design a curriculum that meets your needs. And I believe also that as an industry, we will reach our full potential if we embrace, as we do, supplier diversity. And that's because diversity makes companies stronger. It opens up ideas, it draws on different experiences, it leads to more profitable partnerships and better opportunities, of course, innovation. So today, we need to do more than words. It's time for action. So we are created here at the show the first ever Supplier Diversity Summit. We're grateful for the support of carriers like T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, and infrastructure companies like American Tower, Crown Castle, and SBA that are got behind this to do more than just talk about it, to connect businesses and create real conversations that will lead to opportunities for us all. We created this event to connect small, minority, women, and veteran-owned businesses with major telecom companies like these, and this really, I think, is the beginning of something we can do every year. It's really going to be an important step towards increasing supplier diversity, and I think that will help drive our industry forward. Now, certainly could come at a better time as we are looking to expand our workforce and our industry. FCC Chairman Tom Wheeler recently outlined the 3 keys that will establish the U.S. as a global leader in 5G. He said these 3 key elements are spectrum, antennas, and backhaul. And the FCC really will identify spectrum at its July meeting for 5G. The Commission started on backhaul in April. The chairman emphasized the FCC has got to do more on infrastructure siting, and he's really taken that to heart and made a lot of progress. The Commission is working on new ways now to speed deployment of DAS and small cells, further streamlining environmental and historic preservation rules, and we'll continue to work with all of you to make sure that your voice is heard in Washington and around the country when it comes to issues affecting your business.